most I ever lost in a game was probably like 20,000, 25,000.
What's the most you ever seen somebody lose?
Like 200.
Damn.
Word.
Playing cards.
Playing cards.
That was a plane ride from
And that
Philly
was a
to
plane ride.
LA.
No bullshit. That was a plane ride. I seen somebody lose down there $1 million in the casino. And but when I tell you, took it like a champ, like wasn't worried about it, no nothing. Like, bro, I'm not that type, bro. I win 500 at the slots, I'm gone. Like, you ain't got to worry about me. I'm never gonna win that much. Right. But you lose a damn near an M, and you not even sweating.
Oh, he's a big
like boy. You just. I'm like, boy.
You could tell J.R. Smith. He might look like he sometimes off the edge, but he can maintain his money and know when to say no. Enough is enough.
You different.
You different.
You would usually, I believe, have mayonnaise sandwiches for school. You'd bring them from home for the school lunch, but sometimes I understand you wouldn't be able to afford to bring lunch for yourself to school. So in those instances, what would you do with the brown paper bag?
And it's such a shame when you're so poor and you don't want everyone else to know that you're so poor. Really, you're not poor, you're poor. And a couple of days would go to school certain times, and you didn't want the kids to know how destitute you were. So you take a paper bag with a little grease on it, and then show the kids, like, I ate my sandwich on the way to school. That's why I don't have any lunch today. You make preparation for those things.
Explain how the clothes that you wore to school impacted the education you got back then.
A lot of times you just didn't want to go to school because you just didn't have the clothes, and you hide. So you try to find a way to get something nice to wear for a few days, and you go to school for a few days.
Would the teachers focus less on you if you didn't have nice clothes?
Well, in my younger days, it always seemed like if you had a lunch, nice clothes to wear daily, the teachers liked you more. They seemed to gravitate to you more. Those who didn't have, you can believe they didn't have the teachers' blessings as well.
That's crazy, because it's true. When you didn't look up to par with the rest of the crowd, they be looking at you different.
Phoenix Suns, they gave me a check for $25,000 cash. This was in '97.
Blew it all in one day.
I blew it all in one day. Me and Mike Bibby, his sister and my little brother went to the mall and bought everything we could find. I think when I got back to the house, I probably had like maybe $5,000. Damn near blew it all in the mall. That was my first check. But when I signed my 6-year deal with the Pacers, first thing I did was bought my mom and my grandmother a house.
So my deals were 300, 400, 500,000, the first few years. And to be honest with you, at the end of every summer, I was broke. Because financial literacy is something that's talked about often now, but you think late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't talked about. We talked about houses, cars, jewelry, women, everything but how to save what we're all working for. So with no background, I came from food stamps and drugs, so I didn't really have any kind of representation that showed me, okay, we'll put this away and save this and do this, invest this. So like Jack said, when it came in, it went out even faster. So it took me about maybe going into year 4 or 5 maybe to really start understanding.
Hopefully, he bought the house for his parents early on too. So, a lot of his mistakes wasn't about, spending a lot of money on things he shouldn't have.
I got outbidded with the house I wanted. I really wanted a house in Miami. So now I'm gonna have to build my own house because it's impossible to find a house that I like. And I got outbidded by a very, very famous professional athlete who's very rich. And I want to show you guys the real house, but I feel like that's leaking, and I can't. But I can show you guys maybe a picture. No, I'm not even going to do it. In months in time, I might do it. But truth be told, I got outbid, Chad. I got outbidded. It's not about me being broke. I just didn't get to there in time, right? I saw the house, but they were already in talks, and that was that. So, but yeah, the professional athlete is Messi. All right. Messi's parents, I believe it was. I think it was his grandparents. Or I don't know who the fucks it was. Messi, they wanted a crib for the grandchildren to come over and shit whenever they were playing games. I don't know. And they got it. And
Bro thinks he can go band for band with Messi. I don't know. What is Messi's net worth? Does he got more money than Ronaldo? Which I think. Do they make more money than streamers?
It just doesn't make sense to me. There's like a movie theater and just a bunch of cool stuff.
Jewelry. I got some. I'm not showing it, but I got a few chains and a bracelet. I've never had no real chain, nothing like that. So I got me some real jewelry. Ordered me some stuff offline, some clothes. I give me some shoes. Probably like 25 to 30. I'll put up 30. 30,000. My first year of fashion.
30,000 not bad compared to what rappers be spending on. They'll spend 30,000 on just a pendant.
So much money in the league, right? I want to ask you, like, when you got your first NFL check, whatever that amount was, man, what was your reaction, number one? But then number two, what did you do with it?
First reaction was, dang, they take out a lot in taxes. And two, I put it in the bank. I was fortunate to save, quite a bit of money while I played, but I think crypto was going crazy at that time, so maybe I bought some crypto thinking it was gonna, go to $1 million or something. But
Ethereum or Bitcoin?
I bought both. I got to diversify.
Okay.
But I was fortunate.
The 23.
Talking about crypto, y'all let me know what crypto coins do y'all invest in, if any. Like cryptos would be like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, maybe Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, of course. Those are the top ones that I could think of that maybe be the best cryptos. But if you got any suggestions on what to look out for, let me know.
Year-old professional athlete making $795,000 a year, and they gave me access to their entire budget. And I'm going to show you everything. After taxes and deductions, he's bringing home $18,000 every paycheck, and he's paid twice a month. His mortgage is $4,154. Now, as you'll see, there's an adjusted column over here where all these numbers are slightly larger than what's over here. That's because he's only paid 9 months out of the year. So this adjusted column takes all of his expenses and automatically increases it by 34%. This means that he's overpaying into his different accounts, which I'll explain later, so that during the 3 months when he's not paid, he still has enough money to cover all of his expenses. He loves dining out, and he spends $1,500 a month on that. He also loves to do his shopping, so he spends $1,000 on shopping, and he splurged and got himself a very nice vehicle, and he spends $2,256 every single month on that. And at the bottom, all of his expenses are automatically totaled up to $11,633 every month.
What he could do better, of course, is to bring down the dining out price, because you can cook for yourself, alright? And it's probably much cheaper to get a chef than dining out. And the cell phone bill, he's got to be paying the whole family's cell phone. Other than that, he seems like he can budget pretty well. He don't got too many subscription fees. Not bad.
But after the 34% increase, his expenses are total up to $15,589. By the way, this budget is fully automated. If you want to check it out, go and use the link in my bio. And if you have a unique financial situation like this, check out the done for you budgets in the link in my bio as well. As we get over to the right side, this number is most important because it's how much money he has left after all of his expenses have been paid. And there he can choose a monthly allowance, and he chose a very modest $500. The way this budget is broken down, every time he gets paid, money automatically flows into 3 bank accounts, all from the same bank. So he has a spending account, a bill pay account where all of his expenses get automatically pulled from, and a high yield savings account. This last number is his emergency fund number. This number is automatically calculated based off of 12 months of spending and bill pay. Now this number auto-populates to 3 months, but because of the nature of his job, I made this 12 months.
Athletes who are amazing with their money, who have never spent a dime of their salary. Number 4 is Jason Tatum. The Celtics star has made $57 million over the course of his career and does not plan to spend a dime of that. He lives off his endorsement deals from Jordan, Gatorade, and Subway. Number 3 is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara of the Saints has made $20 million over the course of his career, but he lives off his smoothie brand Big Squeezy and other deals like being a NASCAR ambassador. Number 2 is Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts signed his $32.9 million deal just last year in 2021, but lives off endorsement deals from Truist, C4 Energy, and a couple other companies. And number 1 is Gronk. Gronk has never touched his $70 million of earnings. He lives off his many endorsement deals from companies like Dunkin' Donuts, Visa, and Tide.
And he got Visa in the mix. See, these guys are smart because living off endorsement deals and sponsorships just shows that if you have an expensive lifestyle, you must be getting a cut off these people because you're not even spending your money that you earned through the NFL. So that's a lot of good financial spending, good spending.
$151 in my bank account as a college student. Wow. I declared for the draft, got an agent. The agent offered me $100,000 upfront money. Right? Luckily, I had two parents who they was like, that's too damn much. Right? But they said $25,000, cool. Right? So you know what happened? I was at Wake, right, in Winston. I went to the bank right up the street just so I could see what the statement looked like. Yeah. Right? Because we young, we don't know. Yeah. We ain't never had no money like this. Yeah. I went and got the statement that said $25,151. Right there, though. No education came along with it. Right? First thing I did, I went to the mall. Of course. Took my girl to the mall. Jay Gray and his girl went to the mall. We went to the what? Ball. What? We went to the clothing store. We went to the clothing store. I said, everybody get you something. Right?
What have I done?
Useless way of spending your money.
Done with all my NFL money. Now, you guys know all the horror stories about professional athletes going broke. But for a lot of guys like myself, we've been really smart with our money, and these are the things that I've actually done with my money. Essentially, I've put my money in 3 separate investment type situations. I so badly want to make a joke about my wife spending all my money, but I'm not going to do that. So the first place I put my money in is real estate. I love doing this. My wife is super talented when it comes to renovating houses. So we've spent some money on some homes. In my NFL career, we've had a total of 7 transactions. Some of those are buying, some of those are selling, but 7 transactions with real estate. Second thing that I put my money in, and it's the most boring, is your classic stocks, bonds, put your money in the market, do that. Fun fact, my financial advisor does this, and I chose my financial advisor before I chose my agent. I had $0, and I still had that boy on speed dial. In the last area, and the area that I love, not the most, but I just love doing this, is private equity. Just picture Shark Tank. I mean, honestly, Shark Tank, if y'all need somebody else, look how good I look next to them.
You should make NFL Shark Tank and bring some other players on. Yeah, it would be cool to have some, athletes to also give their opinion on what is good to invest in.
There you have it. Those are things that I've done to help myself out when I'm done with football to create long-term financial success.
I was overseas playing in Italy. Unlike the NBA where you get paid twice a month, overseas you get paid once a month. So I go to a team that's notorious for, being a little funny with the money, aka the check might not hit on time. I was fed up. I'm just like, yo, this is so unprofessional. Get to Christmas time. The team is struggling. The money is late. The money's been late at this point. So I'm just like, listen, man, I'm not coming to work with a great attitude if y'all aren't paying. On top of that, right, we're playing Christmas. They're like, hey, we're staying in a hotel tonight. I'm like, y'all must be outside your mind.
Home game.
Yeah,
so they're putting you up in a hotel.
Y'all are going to pay for a hotel.
When you normally don't, obviously.
When you normally don't. Yeah, and clearly we never stayed in a hotel for a home game. Y'all are going to pay for a hotel just to get us away from our families without paying us? Bro, when I tell you, I was like, absolutely not. They went crazy on me. Didn't let me play. Just made such a big deal. That's a regular occurrence overseas.
Just imagine, they must make a lot of money off of y'all. Y'all not getting them trying to spend with their family. Y'all focusing on making money. Y'all gonna book them in a hotel. That's crazy. Y'all making everything happen but getting them paid.
Man, that just was a rough Christmas, man.
I'm going on my 3rd year now in the NFL. And one thing that I learned is somebody always wants something from you. And in this video, I'm not even just gonna talk about family. What I mean is somebody always has a business plan, some type of investment for you. Like people want to sell you clothes, jewelry, especially the jewelers. They hit you up a whole lot. And I get it because, everybody got to hustle and they trying to make some money too. But the best thing I did was learning how to say no or just ignoring people in whole. For me, that's been the best way to protect myself from just spending crazy money.
No is a complete sentence. My life has been so much better since I learned no. Yeah, you guys, sometimes you feel bad for the other person, but do you think they care about whether or not you say no to them? No, they got to deal with it. You just don't know how to stand up and, put your foot down.
And I'm able to just save for stuff that I want to do, for stuff for me and my family, you feel me?
I go to a school with my assistant coach from high school. He take me up there. We in the room, he talking, and the coach was like, yeah, I got some gear for you, but let me go out. I got to go real quick. He leave the room. We looking there through the gear. We get there, it's like 50,000. I look at my coach, I'm like, oh, like,
damn, my heart beating fast. I ain't never had no money, so I'm looking. I'm like, my coach, he really ain't had no money. He like, you coming here or what? What we doing? Like, hey, I don't know. My mama and them. Like, I asked my mama, and he's like, no, this is where you need to be. So I'm like, yeah. So he looked at me, he was like, they ain't gonna tell on us. Man, he took about, I ain't gonna lie, he took about 10,000. I'm like, I'm scared, like, damn.
They ain't gonna tell on us.
He's like, what they gonna do? Tell on us?
Yeah, well, they can't.
He was, I'm gonna give you 1,000 when we get in the car. And when I got older, I started thinking about like this bum ass.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, you gave me 1,000. It was 50,000.
The whole other 49.
I see him the other day. I'm still mad at him about that.
He needs to come work for me now.
Yeah, he gave me 1,000.
Make sure y'all hit up the likes on this video. Let's get to 100. Also subscribe if you haven't yet and you're new to the channel. And I'll see you on the next one.